God.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Luchana, and my guest today is Kyle Secor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you for accepting the invitation, Kyle. It's a joy, like always, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a joy.
It's a pleasure to be here. Really is. Wherever here is. It's like
Exactly.
Computer. Yeah.
So I will start briefly with sharing. I came across something that Andreas was sharing on Facebook, basically. Something which pulled my attention, and it was a title, and the title was "A Death of an Actor."
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, that's interesting," and this is how I messaged you, and you were so kind to message me back, and here we are.
Yeah.
So, what who died? Who died? What died? Or I don't know. Okay, let's start with this.
Yeah.
Maybe briefly about what is there alive before dying? What was there? Or
well, there was Kyle, and Kyle was pretty. From Kyle's point of view, was a pretty interesting character. It's so funny. I was thinking about this just before we got on about like what had happened in the story years ago. And since I've always been a storyteller, I remember writing my first script when I was probably in the 5th or 6th grade about these American bandits named Bonnie and Clyde. I'd heard about them, and I went, well, I've got to write a story about Bonnie and Clyde. It was a script. It was a film script, and I've never had written a film script, or it's 4th grade, who knows? And but so my mind was always very active in love stories, and so my first sort of what would be called like a religious experience or whatever came out of telling a story about something that I wasn't, and then this thing happened in this spiritual setting, and I had a spiritual experience, and then from that there's another story that started weaving out about that, and then there was the reclamation of this horrible 8th or 9th grade kid. And then there was the downfall that occurred after having the reclamation, and it was a whole story that occurred, and that kind of continued throughout my life, and all of these things went unquestioned. They were just completely unquestioned. And then I read a book years later that basically said you should probably question what you were thinking about, what was you went through. And I went, oh well, gosh, okay, then I will question that. But I was in the throes of alcohol and drug addiction and stuff, but during that time also meditating. So I was meditating and doing drugs and drinking and all of this stuff, and also being an actor and having some success as an actor at the same time. And then all of that completely, the acting thing continued, but all of the addiction thing, that sort of took a nosedive and hit bottom, and then Zen meditation came into this sphere, and then apparently I continued on with that with some teachers, and then got married, had children, have a couple of teenage girls.
Beautiful, beautiful story.
Unbelievable. And
there was this deep longing in all these chapters of the script of this apparent character. Was there a longing for something?
There seemed to be, I know that, I hear people talking about seeking and things. For me, the seeking for me was always, I wanted to have the deepest experience of being an actor. I wanted to have the deepest experience in playing a role. I wanted to have the deepest experience of that role. So it was always about this, the role or the play or the film that I was doing, or something I wanted. There was something that I was not getting. I was missing it by that much.
Oh,
and if I just
a little bit. Yeah.
Great, yeah, yeah. And sometimes it was that much, but sometimes it was just that much. And if I just studied more, or if I just had something else, if I just had some more opening or whatever it was, or then when meditation came in, then that was all helpful, but it was all being funneled into this thing called the actor. Which I love. Andreas calls it the actor ingredient, which I think is really was quite wise, that it's just an ingredient of this whole pot of this stew. And then getting married and having kids, then all of a sudden those 24 hours of the day that I had to work on a role or work on the actor thing, that started to fall apart. It was like you'd only grab 1 or 2 hours here to be able to work on something, to audition, things like this, and during the pandemic, the beginning of that, that all of these things started getting questioned, because all of our work dried up as for all of us actors, or for many actors, and that dried up. And I was writing a lot about acting, and I was writing also Tony Parsons and Jim Newman and Andreas, and those, I started hearing those voices and going on walks with them, with my with my earbuds in, and my mouth dangling, like just going, what? And I'd heard these things in a way before, because a gentleman named Paul Hederman, if you've heard of Paul, he and I had gotten to know each other back in like 2015, and had done some meetings here in LA. And anyway, so this is a really long story that really culminates in nothing whatsoever. It means absolutely nothing. But there it goes. The storyteller in me gets interested in these things. And then these things started coming out writing wise, just maybe 2 or 3 months ago. And every day there would be more writing, and it seemed to be at the then there was a point where there wasn't writing, and there was just this stuff. And I thought, oh, well, maybe this is, I guess maybe it's a PDF that I'll throw out there into the world. And then someone read it, said, no, don't do that. You should really, do something more with this, because maybe there's something, it could be a beautiful thing. And I went, oh, maybe. And then Julie came and found Julie, and Julie made this incredible cover to this book that just blew me away.
It's amazing. It is amazing, really. It is absolutely astonished.
It's an amazing cover. It's completely not anything that I thought that, but there it is. And so then we edited it, and that was an incredible experience editing it. And then now it's out there. So and the talks with Andreas that are in the book, well, those are the book. My stuff is literally just like an entree to Andreas's talk. That's it. Our conversations. It's like, if you can get through or just go to the end of the book and read those, everything's good.
I can't wait. Yeah, the book, as I mentioned, the book is here already. I pre-ordered it, but I have a time just to read few pages in the beginning, maybe 2, 3 or something.
Yeah, it's and it seems to be people are resonating with it because it doesn't seem to be too much about acting. Doesn't seem to be too much about that. That just seems to be the entree because of the character that that's here. So, and
so what dies? Who dies?
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, it still feels uncertain. That still feels uncertain. And I have no clue, because I don't know what's going on. I really don't. And it feels like something that in the story began long ago. And it's been a slow drip, drop to that. And there's these moments where it feels like the actor dies, the me dies, but has always been dead. It's never been alive. There's just been this, you know, and there was a seeming process that was never a process. There was a timeline that it seemed like things happened, but there was never any time. There was nothing, none of it. So nothing died, nothing was alive. There's just, in the book, I say there's just acting. There's just the acting, or there's just the nothingness appearing as acting. Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful?
But it doesn't feel like I know that at all. I don't know that. There's no knowing of it. There's this character going blah, 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 blah. You know, there's talking coming out and words, but no validity to any of it.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
It's very silly. Oh gosh. I am not a good messenger.
Oh, no one is expecting any message, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you discuss or did you share with someone about I don't know, maybe with your wife or closest friends? Do you have some talks on this subject of nothing, or
yeah,
no after, or
yeah, there's a you know, there's a friend that we apparently made a decision at the beginning of 2020 to talk every single day by phone. And he's a very dear friend of mine who I thank in the book. It's a wonderful, wonderful, deep soul. And if that's even a word to use, good God, I did it anyway, whatever. And
yeah.
but we talked every single day, and as it seemed as this message was kind of starting to make an impact, whatever it is, then he was noticing that, and I would talk about that. It's not something that there's too many people in my realm that I talk to about this. So it's really great to speak to you or Julie, or, you know, I spoke a bit with Emerson yesterday. And so it's really great to talk to people about this. But for the most part, what happens is that people will read the book and they'll go, "This is great." And I'll look at them and go, "Oh, okay." So, and it's almost like what's behind that is, but you don't really. Yeah. Oh.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. I guess there's a sense that at some point I'm going to talk about this with a group of actors, and or whoever it is, and we'll sit in a room or in a virtual room and talk about this, and then, you know, there'll be questions or not. There'll be something will come up or not. People will say, "I'd like to work on a scene," whatever that. And I think that would be really interesting, because I would have no clue anymore what to do with anyone. I used to, you know, I taught some classes on acting and stuff, and I always had these wonderful ways to lead people through scenes and stuff. It's like being like a meditation teacher or something who's got techniques and stuff and answers and, you know, and teachings, and that doesn't seem to be up anymore. So I don't know what will happen, but it's really it's kind of exciting for the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a joy and excitement also here. I don't know really why, and I think no one knows. It's not just me, a disapparent character or disapparent character there. No one knows. It's just pretending to know.
Yeah.
Or just deep longing to know, but it's never been known.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Yeah, but the energy is of joy. I can feel it here right now. I feel it when it's yeah. And that's the thing that also that's, I guess, in a way, is something that probably in writing the book, this whole energy of that is just undefined, completely undefined, that somehow becomes in the world that I've populated a creative energy, and then how that energy becomes a book or a piece of art or a play or a monologue, or how does that, which is completely free, open, wild, chaotic, then come into this thing where you're watching a play or a movie or seeing that to me is wild. It's a mystery, complete mystery. And yet apparently there are techniques and strategies in order to create something like that, in order to kind of wrangle all of those energies, like, you know, like the me is going to wrangle all of that stuff and then create a this, whatever that this is. To me is just a phenomenal mystery. Yeah.
Agree. Yeah.
And the same thing with this sense of joy, or this sense of whatever it is that's arising. You know, so and I think sometimes, you know, with two teenage girls, the parenting thing and the frustration that arises, and it's coming up, it happens more now. There's like this, like it's like very, very full and very deep, and the me will pop up and say, we got to stop this, we got to do something about this. And no, there's nothing at all. I can definitely try. I definitely give it sometimes my best to find a way of marshaling those energies, but I've never done anything, never been of any help. So.
Oh, I guess people who will watch this video, there are some questions. Usually they come up like the difference before and after, although there is no before and after. But did you notice something like in the daily life, let's say, how things unfold? Maybe they unfold the same way. It's just like more, I don't know, it is seen that no one is doing anything, or how
yeah. Yeah, it's like that. It
has always been the case. It has always been like this.
Yeah, it's always been the case. But Kyle, the character of Kyle was always going, oh, how this is out of my control. I've got and now it's just everything is completely chaotic, out of control. And there's no, and I could say there's no change whatsoever, but there just seems to be an ease, an ease to it. But again, I wouldn't say that like there's an ease, that it's always easy. It's always this, it's always one thing or another, because it's not, it changes constantly. But the strategies are less in place. All those strategies are just And once in a while, a dusty old strategy will come in. Like it's dusty. It's old. It's an old strategy. And it'll come in and say, you can, it's even got an older voice. You can do this way. And then it just falls apart. It just falls apart. It's just so it's silly. And even my daughters will look at me and like just shaking their heads. And they're really smart. Oh my gosh. And there's so much apparently more together than I ever was.
Exactly.
At 15 and 18.
I know. They're so wise.
Unbelievable. Something is kind of like, it feels like built, I don't know. I don't kids these days. But I think back to me, I was like a complete idiot. Anyway. Oh, complete idiot.
Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice talking like this. Yeah, it's so free. So applying non-duality, I have a favorite.
Did you say applied?
Yeah, I have a favorite phrase. I think Jim Newman was saying this, like, this is oxymoron, like applying non-duality.
Yeah. Well, the me character, really wants to apply it once you get a whiff of this thing. And for as Kyle, the actor, I took everything and I wrapped it into the acting. So that's completely what happened for. I remember hearing when Paul started giving talks in LA, and I would be sitting there and he'd say, I'm just going to keep throwing things out there and something is going to stick. And I said to him, but it seems like you're throwing it back behind me in a way, and there's something else that you're speaking to. And he said, yeah, that's exactly what's happening. This isn't for you at all. Oh, I'm inconsequential. Yes, that's exactly it. So, but the inconsequential me was going to take that and attempt to make it into something useful for the actor.
A better life, better circumstances, or whatever, to improve something.
Yeah. To feel better.
But it's natural. It's like I don't know. It's human conditioning, maybe. I don't know. I don't know either. But it feels like it's something that couldn't be avoided. Like me always wants, and it wants for itself, not for others. Even the pretending for others is also for itself.
Oh, I love that. The pretending for others. I also, I have a friend who's very big into service and helping.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Which is good. And then, and the other day I just, mentioned to him that maybe you haven't ever helped anyone. Maybe you've never been of service to anyone. There's no me to be of service or to help anyone, and no one ever needed it, and no one was ever doing it. Somehow it just seems like there's helping, or it feels like servicing, but that me thing that is going to help you falls apart completely.
Was he agree with you? Not it doesn't. It is matter.
Of course, he agreed with me immediately. No,
of course
you know what? But how it goes, and it's how it goes when I've spoken to Andreas or Paul or anyone. There's like that. There's that. Like the mouth goes open. There's like you just got nothing is there anymore, and then very quickly, all of the atoms start coming back together in the story, and you're back to being in this. But then that thing stays. There's something that stays. There's something that sticks around. That's why it feels like a slow, drip drop of these things have been like being put into me for years. This is just an image, have been put into me for years, and other things have been like kind of siphoning out. And then something happens, like sitting down and plucking at a computer, writing a book. And then it becomes about the death of something. And then you talk to someone named Andreas who says, you've always been dead. And I couldn't hear, I was hearing that going, oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's no process. Exactly. Still writing away, still thinking that. And then we come around to the second conversation where then that's making, now that's in a way, in the story, it's clear. And it feels like nothing, absolutely nothing has changed. There was no big flash of light. There was no Zen experience. There was no nothing. There was just a, just what's this is right now, this. But not even this.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
It's weird and nice.
Yeah, it's when did you start speaking to people about this or whatever this is?
A year or so. It was, I don't know, I invited Tim. Do you know Tim? A lovely English guy, Tim Cleese.
Oh, okay.
I made a chat with him and I translated it into Bulgarian. I don't know, there is something in this character which wants to organize, to make some things. I don't know. It's not, yeah. And we've made actually a few meetings here with Bulgarian translation with Tim, and then Emerson, we've chatted a little bit, and I started making videos for nothing, and that's how it becomes. But nothing happened actually. It's just it's nice.
I like that's that part of the character you said, the organizing part.
Yeah, it's something here.
Right. Yeah. No, that's I resonate with the organizing part of the character, of wanting to put something together.
Yeah, and it's coming in waves, like coming and going, like, but it's here, there, I don't know. This joy with sharing and speaking, and I something very deeply clicked when I spoke with Tim, like, because I said to him, I don't know how you speak with such an ease, and he said, but everyone can speak like this because there is no right or wrong words that you can use, and that's the freedom, exactly.
Yeah.
There is no worry, there's no shame that I will be embarrassed or something, I will say something inappropriate, or some kind of non-dual police is watching behind the corner or whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And also this character was like always been joyful in a way. Of course, with periods of deep depression. Why not?
Right. Yeah.
Like almost everyone.
Yeah. But something about that, like you said that, I say something in this character would say there's things that are all right and there are things that are not all right. And that seems to be that kind of the hat on top of the hat, as we say. Do you know this saying, the hat on top of the hat?
Yeah.
The one that's all the considerations behind what you just did or said or whatever, that completely comes out of an spontaneous, open, wild, chaotic space. And then, so there's been less of that. I noticed that there's less of the follow-up. won the considerations, and which is a really nice thing. And that's something that in this profession that I apparently am in, this is something that's much appreciated. Actors work on that.
Yeah. Hard effort. Yeah, with the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a question which comes like, not a question, maybe I just a comment. Like this thing, apparent thing which happened sometime, times like death of something which was never existed, but we call it like this.
Right.
It happens like
mind-blowing.
yeah. And so apparently different, I don't know, characters like actor, dentist. I know a few doctors as well, like doctor, like someone who studied medicine, or ordinary people from all over the places. And
right.
It is not something special and something just for some special people. And also not everyone is sharing, and is not everyone is speaking. There are people who are quietly just nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And that's also nice.
Yeah. There's not. Yeah. It's to me, I guess it always is a wonder that anyone says anything.
Yeah.
That there's even 2 or 3 people saying something, or 4 or 5. Or 1, because that's not happening.
Exactly.
There's no one doing anything. That's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I'm happy there are. There's something about that resonance in the energy. Yeah.
This resonance, this speaks more than thousands of words can ever speak.
Well, and also I find it's my God, it's a relief. It really is a relief. It's a relief to speak with you right now. Feels nice. All day long you can hear other words from all other places that around, that are not so, sometimes don't feel so great to hear. That's the other thing, is that now all of the news and all of the things it doesn't have a huge effect anymore. Not a huge effect. There's not the me isn't going, yes, I stand behind this, or I stand behind that, or anything. There's not a huge effect. And sometimes I go, oh, this is right, this is wrong, but there's no blast behind that going, now I'm going to go out and jump on a protest, or I'm going to write, or I'm going to do. There's just
exactly
happening.
And also there is no energy involved, and there is no energy to do anything like this. Like the energy, it seems like the energy wants to go out and do an interview, or writing a book, or I don't know, or walking in the park, and not for something like it doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. And I think something about that, I've had a few people say to me, how did you write this? How did you write this book? Which you could say that about really about anything. How did you tie that shoe of yours? How did you make those eggs? It's like, oh, well, I reached in the refrigerator. I pulled out an egg. I cracked it. whatever it is. But it's the same thing with the book. Is there was apparently sitting down, typing, getting done. And there was never an energy that said, oh, I'm going to now go through a 2-year process of getting this to publishers and doing this and that, because people were saying you should get it. And I went, no, I just want it to go out now. The energy is now to put it out there. It's just to get it out there. And just kind of what it feels like is like, and it didn't need to go out, didn't need to do anything. There was just a thing of, well, now it's going out. But it happened with that particular energy. There was no right or wrong in any of it. And I love that. That's also something that suits this character in a way, is just doing whatever is happening and allowing it to be there and go through, and not, in the acting industry, you have to go through so many different doors to get a job, or to, and after you are on a show and you make a show, to see if that show is going to survive 1 season or 2 seasons, you have to do this waiting thing, and which is fine. It's part of the whole process, but this feels so much more freeing. Not freeing, but it feels like freedom. I don't know.
I agree. It feels like this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. There are no doors anyway. There's no doors to get through. There's no one holding you back or pushing you forward, or, thumbs up, thumbs down. Just what's happening. And it's funny. It's something I've talked to my daughters about for years. For years. And it's really interesting that they're now seeing this thing happen with the book. They've watched me as an actor for years. They don't watch anything that I do, which is fine. That's fine, but it's okay. It's so funny. My daughter, my oldest daughter, is a filmmaker, and she's in a high school that has a cinema department. So she's made films for 3 years now, and I've been in a few of them. Great. She treats, as an actor, she'll come up, she'll go, Dad, that's just not it. I need something else from you. Okay. She's my harshest critic. But it's great for, I don't know if it's great for them or not, but they've seen this thing move rather quickly, and to kind of just, what seems like a process that has had no process whatsoever. It really is just energy. Yeah.
Yeah. And also something that comes up is like this ease, and ease is the right word. Talking and sharing with someone who you do not know before sitting like this and seeing each other on Zoom. This is amazing. It was never possible before. Yeah. It was like a tension, like something like anxiety, maybe a little bit like nervousness or something. But now it's completely fine, and there is this feeling that I know you, even that I don't know you at all, but there is this ease.
Yeah. It feels there's more. I hate it. I don't know if I hate it, but it feels like all the Zoom thing that started happening after the pandemic. And I know there were Zoom meetings before that, and there's just been, and there was in the story at the beginning, and I did a lot of different Zoom meetings with actors and things like that, because we were putting together films and we were making films on Zoom and stuff. And there was a sense of people saying we can't really do what we do because we're on Zoom with each other. But now it feels as though everyone's become much more, there's much more of an of a intimacy, and there's no screens. There's not even a there or here or anything. There's just this energy, and it feels like, I don't know, I'm all for it. My wife teaches improvisation. She's an improvisation teacher, and she's, from the beginning of the pandemic to now, they've completely changed everything, and she teaches improvisation on camera. And it's no different than what we're doing right now. There's no difference at all.
Yeah, the difference is also, it's only here thoughts are making the difference, you know, like this is this, and this is that, and an explanation of whatever.
Yeah, it's the thoughts.
Yeah, what happened to the thoughts?
Yeah. I read something today about, someone posted something that makes no sense to me anymore. Makes no sense to me anymore. It doesn't, and it was something about your thoughts, and just do something about those thoughts. So if you're having that thought, it's just remember. There's yet another thought. It's the remembering thought that's going to now arise, that I've been told you should back it up with the remembering thought, that thought
it's too complicated,
is of no value, but the remembering thought is of value.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And yet those types of things seem to have some value for people. There's like there's some sort of reminder of awareness, or of whatever you're going to call that, you know, the me again, the me in all of its many, you know, the words for it. So it's not right or wrong, but it's for now, it seems to make no sense.
Yeah, it seems too
complicated. A lot of things.
Yeah, too complicated. It looks like very complicated.
Complicated, yeah. When I got sober, I started doing a kind of meditation that was really complicated. And then I decided I didn't want complicated meditation. I wanted simple meditation.
Just be aware of your thoughts.
Yeah, just be aware. But then I wanted to, but there's this tendency of this particular me to go, let's uncomplicate things. But it was in gradations. We're going to really, the least complicated thing of all is that there's nothing going on. I don't have to remember a freaking thing. I don't have to, yeah. Gosh. Right?
Yeah.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite movie?
Lately, now I discovered basically in the story of this character, it was like there was a belief like it's so bad to watch anything else than spiritual stuff. But when that belief dropped, so I discovered Netflix and HBO, basically. So now I'm watching and just like that, like everyone else, like a normal people. Yeah, it was my favorite series. Yeah, Sex and the City, of course.
Oh yeah.
But lately, also, I came across a wonderful movie. Let me think if I can remember the title, because I just wanted to recommend it to you to watch it, because There was so much beauty there. Don't look away, something like this. Never look away, or don't look away.
Right. No,
It is a German. It is not new. It's maybe 2-3 years ago or more.
Okay.
Never look away, or something like this. Yeah. Don't look away, or never look away.
Okay.
It is a beautiful, beautiful story. And also there is a moment when the main character, but I'm not going to spoil it. No. Yeah.
The thing I love about film, and Emerson and I were talking about this, is the plot twist, the big plot twist. And we were talking about that in terms of like the plot twist that can happen in life, apparently, when all of a sudden there's no me.
Collapse. Yeah.
There never has been. And there's some sort of recognition or some sort of, and that's the plot. And I believe what it feels like is films, it's same energy. There's plot twists. And, films are like, in Shakespeare would say, holding the mirror up to nature. So holding the mirror up to nature, it's exactly. The filmmakers are making films where there's the twist that happens, where things aren't what they seem to be. And it's just a symbol of this particular human, the story of the human predicament. Of not seeing things that the way they are, the actual way they are, we see them, and then that there's something else that is not anything that we thought could have been. And there's so many instances of that.
Yeah, constantly.
There was a film.
Constantly. It's like waving and inviting us from everywhere. Yeah.
It's there's nothing that's not that. Nothing that's not that. I'm just looking around in my room at the light over there that's shining on me. This light here, and it's all not what I thought it was. Or looking at this image here, nothing of what I imagined that it could be, that it was. It's slipping on the banana peel.
Yeah.
Right? Which, by the way, I've never done that in life. Have you ever slipped on a banana peel?
I don't think so.
I just
as far as I remember, no. But
metaphorically, but not. Yeah.
Ah, metaphorically, of course.
Yeah. Yes.
No.
So.
Okay. It's almost an hour. Can you imagine?
Is it really?
Not an hour. Yeah, it's a
wow.
few minutes still. Yeah. You see,
there's a there's a film I'm going to tell you about that Paul Hederman turned me onto. There's an actor named Sam Rockwell, and it's a movie called Moon something. It's about an astronaut that's on the moon, and he's been up there for a while.
I will check it out. Yeah.
And it's got that twist in it.
Yeah, great.
And so it's a beautiful, beautiful film.
Okay, I will check it.
Yeah.
So movie something with. Okay.
Do you mind if I take a moment and look it up for you?
Sure. No.
We have 1 minute. Watch. I can do this.
Few minutes. We have as long as.
Okay, watch this. Moon.
No problem.
Oh yeah, I think it's just called. It is. It's just called Moon.
All right.
Moon. one of those one word short moon. Oh, by the way, did you see the moon tonight?
No.
It's called a micro moon.
Oh, I'm going to read now. It is an evening here where.
No, I saw it this morning at 5, whatever it was in the morning, and I just love when you don't, because a lot of people watch the moon and they know when it's going to be a full moon, or they know that, you know, I'm not that, and then I'll look up in the sky and go, holy crap, that's a full moon. And it's again like this, oh wow, big energy.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was really delightful speaking with you.
Same, likewise. So lovely. Really. I don't know what else to say. I'm just cannot stop smiling.
Yay. Yeah.
What to do? Can't help. Someone is grumpy. This character is smiling.
All right.
I think we will have another possibility to chat or to share.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm going to stop it now.